We remember the ecstasy of victory and the agony of defeat, especially the latter lately. This city is obsessed with its iconic sports. We play on thousands of teams, not just two. We play to win, but sometimes we don't. I'm just looking for my spot here. We remember our distinctive faith traditions, our artistic performances, the food we savor, the beliefs we hold. No single voice defines an authentic Edmontonian. But is this city large enough, open enough to hold a million truths in its heart? The magpie flies over Fort Edmonton Park. Sometimes we remember it as a place for historic interpretation, and I know that Tim does. But sometimes it's an entertainment theme park and a popular backdrop for romantic wedding portraits. Sometimes, more often than we like to admit, we need a nudge from Edmonton's news media to help us remember something important, to push us to action, to demand change and justice. Some historic days we ache to forget. July 31, 1987, for example. And yet these days are burned into a shared consciousness, changing us, teaching us to comfort one another. Our children have a culture of their own, a shared experience of childhood. What do they remember that we have forgotten? The magpie swoops over the iconic high-level bridge, a crossing point between past and present, a marking of the hours between sunrise and sunset on every day of our lives together. The magpie flies over new iconic places, new memories in the making. We remember best, I think, through our protection of the land. Edmonton's emerging urban farms, community gardens, and local farmers markets could be considered a heritage movement. We define ourselves by what we decide to protect. We are what we eat. And I don't know what she's eating, but it looks like raspberries. Now, an important question for the people of this room. Who are Edmonton's heritage workers? Okay, that's the way people look at us or think about us. That's the public stereotype. Let's admit it. I once was, just when I started Edmonton in Our Own Words, I bumped into a judge, an Alberta judge on the main Jasper Avenue. And this judge said, "What are you doing now that you've left the Journal?" And I said, "I'm writing a new history of Edmonton." And they said, "Won't you be bored?" she said. I wasn't bored. It was quite a bit more interesting than journalism. But we don't fit that stereotype, do we? Let's take a look at who we really are, starting with the archivists, the collectors, the preservers of our treasures. I didn't ask his permission. Michael Gurley and his great team at the Archives Society of Alberta are training a new generation of young people with online learning projects such as Letters from the Trunk. They are constantly adding new treasures to online databases such as Alberta Insight and Alberta in Word. Not one musty, boring thing in that whole collection. Nothing but good things. Thank you, Michael, and your friends. Debbie Schachter, is she here? Oh, hooray, hi. I was hoping you'd come. Debbie Schachter and her great team at the Jewish Archives and Historical Society of Edmonton and Northern Alberta, commonly known to most of us as JACINA, continue to collect a rich visual record of their evolving community. Dan Kaufman has just completed 2 videos available on DVD. Many other archivists in our region are preserving different aspects of our shared culture in special collections and multimedia online. While we were very sad to say goodbye to former City Archivist Michael Payne, we do welcome the recent hard work of the rest of the staff at the City of Edmonton Archives. Kathy Ivany and her team are expanding the Archives website, making more of the catalog available to the public, and adding new digital content every single day. The Archives has just hired Elizabeth Walker as its first digital program archivist. And watch for a new contest to identify the most interesting photograph in the city's beautiful collection. There's somebody coming. There she is. Leslie Latta-Guthrie and her staff have thrown open the doors of the Provincial Archives to the community and letting in some welcome fresh air and new opportunities. Applause, please. I should say that to everybody. But there was a lot of great work done by the whole staff, and it really shows. If you were lucky enough to attend the celebration of the new book, Print Culture in Athabasca Country this summer, you'll remember an unforgettable crease-smudging ceremony just outside the front door. I will never forget that. It was a turning point in Edmonton's celebration of its past. Remembering the past is one thing. Investigating it, analyzing it, interpreting it can require professional training and true scholarship. Thank you to all of our professional historians, and special thanks to Edmonton's first historian laureate, Ken Tingley.